All right. Back again, baby. 2DOWN1OVER podcast. I'm Josh Mason. This is Matt Flanagan. We're in the building, baby, ready to rock the mics, man. We're here. What's up, Matt? What's going on?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good.
Your day? You have a good
It's
day
good,
so far?
man. So far, so good, man. Flexing with the new sweatshirt, so I like it. Came out good. Shout
That's
out
nice.
to Fieldhouse.
Mine's
printing it up.
Mine's a little
You
older.
got the camo, but
yeah,
it's
still
dope.
nice.
You got
yeah.
the 10-year strong rocket.
Yeah, it's still good.
I like it, dude.
Yeah. It's comfy.
Yeah, it is. It is comfy, man. You know, everything's going well. But, hey, so today we're going to talk about confidence. All right, man. I thought, shout out to one of our members. She gave us a tip about what we should cover, and confidence came up. And I said, you know what? That's a great title.
It's an awesome.
Let's
awesome.
run with that, Matt. So why don't you lead us off? Let's dive into it, man.
Yeah, confidence. So obviously super important in anything you're doing.
Sure.
And, we talk about what we do for a living is strength and conditioning. And the motto is get your mind right.
Yep.
And a big thing with that is developing confidence.
Yes.
So we say one of the biggest benefits of your off-season training program is it gives you confidence. And I know I had that same experience where I would work really hard in the off-season. I always talk about, I did everything wrong. I learned a lot of the exercise science behind it, and I did a lot of it wrong, but I was pretty confident.
Yeah.
Going into the season, I was pretty, and it gives you confidence. Now, even another level where we get it right,
Yes.
at least it's what we think, we get it right and through our studies and experience as far as the strength and conditioning, and it can give these kids a lot of confidence.
Yes.
It's going to get them stronger, faster, all that stuff, but what does that do for you? It builds you confidence. And that's just the first layer of it, really.
Yes.
Going another level is everything else that you're doing.
Right.
You need to have confidence. You have to believe in yourself. And you always hear that. First and foremost, you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself.
It's point taken, dude. If you do not believe in yourself, who else is, right? That's the kicker, man. It has to start with you. Mm-hmm. And yes, you love the motto, get your mind right. That's part of it, right? You got to get your mind right. You got to get it straightened out to make sure that you have that self-esteem, that you have that confidence. But it's not as easy as you think, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to say, hey, man, you got to have more confidence, right? Or gain more confidence. For me, I think it's small wins and small victories throughout your life, whatever experiences that are. It's either whether it's in sports or life or business, small victories kind of pour the liquid into your confidence bucket, right? So to speak. So I think it's one, you do have to start with a positive mentality, right? I think you have to believe in yourself. Regardless, your confidence might not be a full tank, right? You might be on a quarter tank of confidence.
Sure.
But you have to believe in yourself. And I think that's where, hey, get your mind right. You got to be in the right space to accept and to understand the increasing of confidence, right?
Right, 100%. I think you do have to celebrate these wins. I think you have to take time to celebrate whatever it is, with good grade, whatever it is, you got to take time to celebrate that. And I know for me, thinking about confidence, I have a morning routine that gives me a lot of confidence. Yes. And I told this to Josh, and it's super important to me. And just with this field, I get up every day and I'll read a little bit, and a couple pages, or it could be a paragraph, whatever it is, but it gives me a lot of confidence in this field. And there's a couple other things that I do in the morning that gives me confidence throughout the day.
Sure.
And for me, it's like that, like Josh talks about that tank, and it just fills that tank up a little bit more.
Right.
A little bit more. And you're going to get beat down a little bit. You're going to have losses and stuff, but you got to keep pouring into that. You got to keep pouring into that. And, little wins that we have, we do take time to celebrate that. And I think that as we've gotten older and more mature, that's something that we've realized that we do have to do.
Yeah.
Not boasting or not, going off ego or whatever it is, but still taking time to celebrate these things.
Yeah, I think that the concept of preparedness is something that leads with confidence, right? Because if you're prepared in something, or you're well-versed in something, there's almost like that confidence exists with it because why? You put the work in, or you did what you needed to do to lead up to whatever situation that is. So I think being prepared or doing the work behind the scene of whatever you're trying to build up to or get to, that's where the confidence comes to. Because, for example, if you did not study for a test and you do not know the material, you're probably not going to be confident while you're taking that, right?
Oh, yes.
On the flip side, if that you studied 2 weeks prior to that in chunks, little by little, you're probably pretty confident that, hey, I should do pretty well on this test. And I think that needs to be established with the person in life, right? Being prepared. Like, confidence just doesn't exist. You still have to put the work in. The crazy thing is, I think confidence is is really a superpower. Like,
100%.
I think confidence is a superpower because it's a game changer and it's a separator, right? Like, we talk about that. Like, what separates you good to great, right? Like, confidence is a separator, hands down.
Big
right?
time.
And if you believe in yourself and you have the confidence, like, you're going to wear it. People are going to see it. It's going to change the outlook in the external views of you because they're like, hey, he's pretty confident. You can tell, right?
Yeah.
So how do we get there, though? Like, how do you get there?
Man, that's an interesting question.
Right?
Because we talked about this before. Like, you got to be confident. You got to be confident. We're telling kids this. We're telling, and we talked about these little battles. But, like, honestly, I'm trying to look back because the reality is, like, I wasn't always the most confident, and I have tendencies not to be confident. But I think, like, the work ethic and building and being prepared. And another thing for me is learning new skills.
Yeah.
Learning new skills, challenges, and completing these challenges helps me build confidence.
Right.
Like, there's like, whether musical instruments, there's times where I've taken lessons on musical instruments, and like the banjo, like I learned to play the banjo, and as silly as it sounds, it's given me more confidence and more belief in myself that I can do more with my life. Yeah. And I think that for me is a way to build confidence.
Yeah.
Easy
enough. And the thing is the confidence thing is, when we're trying to build it, I think you got to be careful on comparison. And I think that's what damages a lot of people's self-esteem and or confidence, is the comparison of everything. And obviously, we're in a world with the huge social media and we have access to everything.
Makes it super tough.
It makes it tough. And especially makes it tough on the younger generations because you're comparing yourself to highlight reels. You're comparing yourself to the highlight image or whatever's going on, or people being successful or gaining whatever that is and things that you're interested in. And when you compare yourself, I think it's times where you like doubt yourself then, right? Like, and I think that's natural. Everyone does that, right? You start to doubt yourself because, hey, this person's at this level, or this person made it here, or, and I think that's where we struggle as just a human society at this point, right? Is where that comparison. So I would definitely advise is like, try to avoid that. And I know it's easier said than done, but like, try to avoid that. Like, you have to be on your own mission. And, I have a thing with me where it's like, hey, move the needle, right? Like, always move the needle in the right direction, okay? We don't need to go full blast all the time. I don't need to make big jumps every time. But as long as it's moving forward, I'm cool. And I feel confident about what I'm doing. And I think that's what people need to appreciate more. So it comes down to simple form as, hey, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Your alarm goes off and you hit the snooze, right? You don't get up. Hit the snooze again. Don't get up. Fall back asleep. You wake up at 8:30. Really, you're hurting your confidence, because now I feel like what you're doing you're telling yourself that you're not checking the box. Yeah. Right? Now, the reverse to that is, boom, you get up 6 a.m., pops up, you pop up. Awesome. You listened to yourself. You said, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. I got up at 6 a.m. That's filling the tank, dude. Yeah, because now you're like, yo, when I say something, this is what I'm going to do.
Gonna do it.
Right? Like, it's kind of, and I think those are the things that you got to focus on within yourself in your life that can help build the confidence. Correct?
100%. I'm going to piggyback off that a little bit. What you were saying, where we live in this world of comparison and it's social media, But what we always try to say, it's you versus you.
Yes.
You know, we come in here in the gym or whatever it is, it's you versus you. And we can't look at it any other way. We like healthy competition. We're big believers in that because it's going to get the best out of you. But at the end of the day, it's got to be you versus you. So if your sprint time is this, if your squat max is this, you're trying to beat that.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And that's where it lies, because you beat that, you give yourself confidence. And God, I was thinking about something else and I just lost my train of thought.
Regardless, man, I'll jump on it. So I think, and we spoke about this in previous episode, self-affirmations, positive affirmations, dude. Like, tell me that's not, that has to exist, right? I think that's a great way to start.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to, even if you don't believe it at first, I think it's a pattern that you have to, it's kind of like making deposits to yourself. Whether that's you looking in the mirror and saying, I'm confident, I'm intelligent, I'm smart, I'm beautiful, whatever that is. I think that's necessary because you have to get your brain thinking like that, right? It takes work, because if you're in a situation where you're giving yourself negative, right? Negative feedback and negative comments, and you're comparing yourself, like, think about what's processing.
Right.
So like you're just digging yourself deeper, where on the flip side, if I can give positives, maybe we don't get it from everybody, you know, outside of us, but from yourself. Right? Like, if you can start that process and then start believing those things, or maybe you start seeing it in live action of what you're saying coming to live, like, that's where I think the confidence starts to build. And I'll take you back to a story, right? Now, I'm a decent speaker, right? Like,
I think you're pretty good. Yeah,
when
I think
when
you're pretty
talk,
good.
if I'm in front of a group, and everyone gets nervous with things, and I've been there, but I remember, and for the most part, like, when you're a high school kid, like, you hated public speaking, right? Like, it just wasn't there, unless you were like trained and had a class.
Terrifying.
Yes. So I had this communication class in college, and we had to give a speech, and they filmed us, right? Dude, I was super nervous, like underneath, like knees knocking as I'm giving this speech. So I give the speech. My professor sits down with me after, and she goes, "The way you deliver is incredible. Your confidence up there, like, everyone sees it. You do a great job." Dude, I was like, awesome. What the hell is she talking about?
That's awesome.
I was like, what the hell is she talking about? Because inside, that's not how I was feeling.
Right.
But here's what I'll tell you. I used that because I said, wait a second. If they didn't realize that I was nervous and they didn't see that, but what they saw was what she said, that's what they see. So I'm going to act and feel that way then.
Right. Yeah.
And like, that started that like evolution of me becoming more confident in like public speaking and be around groups and doing things, because I was like, oh, they see me as confident.
Yeah.
All right. Like, that's, so I'm in it. And so now I own it.
Almost like acting your way into a new way of thinking.
Right.
Right.
But I needed her to say that, where I was like, man, that's not what I was thinking. So I think that's a lesson in itself, is like, sometimes we're our toughest critics.
Big time.
Right? Like, we're our toughest critics. So like, we tend to always doubt ourselves.
Yeah.
And that goes back of self or positive affirmations. Like, you need to like build yourself up.
And I've seen, like, and I'm like working with kids and working with people, is that negative self-talk.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've learned through reading and just being involved in the industry, that like, we hear everything that we say.
Yep.
Everything that we say, we process that, whether it's on a subconscious level or whatever. But you hear, oh man, I'm so stupid, or you know, this and that. Like, that's got to change, and that's something like, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, I've in the past worse than before, or like the past worse than now. But you have to be careful what you say to yourself, because if you say, oh man, I stink, or, you know, I can't do this, you're telling your body's like, oh, okay, all right, I got it. Yes. We can't do it then. Yes. All right, no problem. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to kind of check out of that.
Yes.
Where that's not the truth. It's not the truth. And that's where positive affirmations are great. And I had a conversation with Josh like years ago when he told me that he did that. And I started doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
right.
I like that. You know, I think that could help me, and it does.
It does.
Like on my ride to work every day, a couple positive affirmations, get myself going, get myself believing in myself.
It shifts your energy, your vibes, right? Like
100%.
Regardless of how you're feeling, it just puts you in the right space, and then you're able to be more effective or efficient to others and yourself.
Yep.
Right. Like I think that holds true. So it's, again, guys, we're giving you these steps and nuggets, man, gems that are really awesome to really start this confidence wheel. And if you do suffer from low confidence or self-esteem, like these are great ways to start, you know.
And we've been there.
Yeah, we've been there, and everyone has,
yeah.
right? You always doubt yourself, but it's about putting the work in to be confident. I think that's huge, and making sure you're aware of the way you speak of yourself and about yourself. I think that's huge. You know, I'll take it back. You know, I have kids. I have three kids. My youngest, she just turned 6. But before, and I might have said this before, but before bed, we're in a habit, right? Like before bed, I always tell her, I say, "What's your name?" And she goes, "Liddy Mason." And I say, "And what? I can do anything." So like, it's simple, and it might not be effective. It might not, but like, I'm willing to do that, and I wanted to continue to do that just because if she continues to do that night after night after night after night after night, like whenever we're in a situation, and I could be like, "Liddy, you can do anything," right? Like she's just repeating that, and what is that?
Believing.
Yeah, she's believing it and trusting it, and it's something like that. And then I say. Then we go into affirmations. So she's like, "I can do anything." And I say, "Okay, I am." And she'll go, "I am smart. I am beautiful. I am amazing." And she gets silly. She likes to throw her little things in there too. But that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
cool. And I'm just starting that process because we know what kind of world it is. And we know what they're going to grow up in and what they're going to see. Social
People
media.
want to bring you down.
Yeah. Like
people want to bring you down.
Negativity is going to come. So while I have it there, it's like I just want to start that process.
Yeah.
And I think it's so powerful, right? And hopefully like that helps in her future as she grows. You know,
I love it. I love it. And one thing I do want to mention this because I do think it's important. And I maybe I told you this, maybe I didn't. Like maybe 2 weeks ago, I started a gratitude list.
Yes.
And we talk about energies and moving towards the positive energy. So every day the challenge is I write 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Yes.
You know, I try to do it as soon as I wake up. I got it from somebody that used to work for me. She was an intern, and it's Julie Burrows. She's amazing.
Shout out Julie.
Yeah, shout out to Julie. She does it on her Instagram, and she does it on her podcast.
Yes.
And that's a big thing. And she you know how it changed her life. And I took that on.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I want to try that.
Yes.
And you know, two weeks deep on that, it's changing my whole way of thinking.
Man.
It is, and it's like we say, moving the needle towards a more positive outlook on life.
Yes.
And it gives me confidence. It gives me peace. It gives me serenity. It get like all those good things. That's coming with that. And I would suggest that to anybody.
Right.
Anybody start a gratitude list. It's super. It takes me 30 seconds.
Yes.
Literally. 30 seconds.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome, dude. And you know, I find place where I give gratitude too, because I believe in that, and the energy and what you put out comes back. So
100%.
It's things like that though, like where you're taking initiative, you're taking action.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think you have to constantly work at it. Right. Mm-hmm. It's not just there and that's just what it is. I think you constantly have to work at it. So by you adding new exercises or activities to that list in order to move the needle, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, because you're continuing to just fill the bucket, right? You continue to fill the bucket. But damn, dude, like I think we hit it out the park.
This was fun.
I mean, that was great. You know, confidence is a amazing title and something that I think, a lot of people kind of struggle with. And I think
it's not easy.
It's not.
It's not an easy thing at all.
And I hope we came across and you guys heard us loud and clear and you found some gems in this that can really help you and maybe put you in the right direction. Any last words, dude?
No, I think that's it. I think hopefully we covered everything. Hopefully it helps somebody,
Yeah. Please, hey, guys, tell us what you think. Comment below. Make sure you subscribe, man. We're trying to get to 100 as fast as we can. So we love for you to subscribe to the channel. But stay posted. Love for you guys listening in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
See ya.
See ya.